Hello, welcome back to Brian's Mostly Metal Updates. This is my CD collection part 2. These are all my non-metal CDs, all my movie soundtracks basically. So a quick correction, in the last video I told you I had 31 movie soundtracks to show you. Turns out I got 33. So I'm going to give you 2 you didn't know was coming. So I'll just jump right in, try to get through it. This is not a movie soundtrack. This is Mondo a Go-Go, Mondo Franco. This is a band, Mondo a Go-Go. Every song on this album is from a Jess Franco film. So it's, if you're a fan of Jess Franco, you should probably check this out. I'm linking in the description, I'm linking to as many things as I can find on YouTube. This is not on YouTube. I thought about uploading it to YouTube. I don't know what the rules are for uploading like music. Everybody seems to do it, but if I do it, I'll get in trouble probably. So I'm linking to their Bandcamp page. The last 5 songs on the album that I'm linking to are from this. So if you're a Jess Franco fan, check that out. That's on Radium Dial. Next, on Finders Keepers Records, this is Bollywood Bloodbath. This is a collection of music from Bollywood horror films. Haven't listened to this in a while, but I remember at the time when I got it being impressed just how solid this album is. Like, there's no stinkers on this. It's just a solid collection of music from Bollywood horror films. Also on Finders Keepers, the B music of Jean Rollin. This is an assortment of music from Jean Rollin films. So, of course, French director, great stuff. Claudio Simonetti's Goblin, Dawn of the Dead. Now, I believe what the deal is Goblin is different from Claudio Simonetti's Goblin because Claudio had a falling out, started his own version of Goblin. I think that's the way it is, kind of like Venom and Venom Inc. Goblin and Claudio Simonetti's Goblin. Dawn of the Dead is probably my favorite horror film. Depends on the mood I'm in. Sometimes Dawn of the Dead is my favorite horror film, and sometimes The Beyond is my favorite horror film. Flips back and forth. So this is, sometimes number 1, sometimes number 2, Curdled. This was a cool movie from the 90s. Really cool soundtrack. There's Slash is on here. I'm actually linking to the Slash song in the description because I couldn't find the whole, soundtrack on YouTube. But yeah, collection of music from Curdled. This is technically from my original collection for the regular viewers. I own this, before my purge, as well as this. This is another one that I owned that just didn't get sold when I sold my collection. So this is Phenomena, Goblin. Bought this at one of my first trips to the Chiller Theater convention up in New Jersey. Used to go there twice a year. Next up, on Beat Records. That's on Cinevox. Yeah, Cinevox. I'm forgetting the labels again. I even wrote down, I made a list, and I wrote down all the labels so I wouldn't forget it. I'm not even looking at it. Beat Records, Fabio Frizzi, Frizzi de Fulci, Undead in Austin. Next up, Fabio Frizzi, Frizzi de Fulci, live at Union Chapel. Next up, Frizzi de Fulci, the Barbican bootleg. I don't know the story behind this. It's just in a cardboard sleeve. It's an official release on Beat Records. Now, I was lucky enough to see Fabio Frizzi perform his Frizzi de Fulci, show. If you ever get the chance to see Fabio Frizzi, take it. It's great. I saw him do Frizzi to Fulci at the Egyptian Theater in LA, and I also saw him live score The Beyond, which was amazing. Now I have a clip. It's not long. I'm bad at shooting video at shows and stuff. I shot like 52 seconds of video of Fabio Frizzi. I'm going to stick that at the end of the video. So stick around or jump ahead, whatever, and watch Fabio Frizzi for 50 some seconds. Next up, Fabio Frizzi, The Beyond, on Beat Records. All the Fabio Frizzi stuff is on Beat Records. Fabio Frizzi, The Beyond Producer's Cut, live in Austin. This was the performance I saw him when I saw him live score The Beyond. It was the producer's cut. Mostly the same differences that you can tell here and there, but great. It was great. Fabio Frizzi, Manhattan Baby. Not my favorite Fulci movie, but, you know, music's good. This one I didn't even open. I bought most of these Fabio Frizzis. When I saw him, perform, they had merchandise. So I wanted to support. So I bought like one of every CD. This has Zombie 2. It also has Cat in the Brain. Great, 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 great score, this one here. Probably one of the movies that kind of made me start to really appreciate the music in Italian horror films. I mean, I remember this just, made a mark on me the first time I saw it back on VHS, in high school probably. Next up, Fabio Frizzi, Contraband. Great, great Lucio Fulci film. Prime movie. Next up, Fabio Frizzi, Devilfish. Good one. Next up, Fabio Frizzi, City of the Living Dead. Which this is probably, Dawn of the Dead is my favorite horror movie. The Beyond is probably second. This is probably third. City of the Living Dead. I mean, this is great. Next up, that's all the Fabio Frizzi, by the way. Next up, Ennio Morricone. He's pretty good, This is The Devil is a Woman on Beat Records. Good stuff. There's a song, I think I've linked to this song in the description. The first song I heard from this, I've not actually seen this movie, but I heard this when I was at Beyond Fest in LA, waiting to get into the theater. They had a DJ set up that was playing music from movie soundtracks, and he played a track off of this, and it was just amazing. And I had to get out my Shazam app and see what it was, and it was from this. So I immediately ordered this. It's great. Next up, Carlo Maria Cordio. This is Absurd on Beat Records. Joe D'Amato film, of course, with George Eastman, right? George Eastman. Next up, Stelvio Cipriani. I've not seen this movie, Poliziati Sprint, but I checked out the score, and it was really good, so I bought it. Next up, haven't even opened this one. This is another Stelvio Cipriani. This is The Bloodstained Shadow. This is on Chris's Soundtrack Corner. Out of Germany, it looks like. Next up, another movie that I've not seen. This is, let me look at my sheet here. I had to translate some of these. The Return of the Exorcist. I think also known as Exorcist 2. I think this is basically like an Italian Exorcist ripoff. I've not seen it. It's not a female that's possessed, it's a man. Can't really tell it, but yeah. I believe I read up on the movie even though I didn't see it, but really good. Next up, Luciano Michelini. This is Suspicious Death of a Minor on Beat Records. Next up, another good movie. I've seen this one. Guido and Mauricio De Angelis. I'm terrible with foreign names, Italian names. So this is Killer Fish. Great movie with Lee Majors and I forget her name. What was her name? Hemingway. She's a Hemingway, I think. I don't remember. Anyway, Quartet Records. Cool movie. Good soundtrack. Score. Next up, Lalo Gori. Legend of the Wolf Woman. Now, I haven't listened to any of these probably since I moved back to Illinois, which has been going on like, I guess, 4 or 5 years now. Probably going on 5 years. So it's been a while. So, I can't really. I sampled everything before I bought it. I didn't buy anything that I didn't like. So I know these are all good. Carlos Savina, I believe this is the Killer Reserve 9 Seats. I have seen this. It's a giallo. I remember it being, you know, kind of silly, I think, if I recall correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, I mean it wasn't a great movie. Worth watching, you know. This is another movie that I've not seen. This is A Black Veil for Lisa. Oops. Music, Giovanni Fusco and Gianfranco Reverberi. I'm sorry, Reverberi. Black Veil for Lisa. Really good score. Like I said, haven't seen that movie. Next up, this is Amok. You've probably seen this. This has what's her name? Barbara Boucher and Rose Albineri. I bought this. If you've seen the movie, there's a scene in the movie where one of the characters puts a record on a record player and starts playing this song. And it's an amazing song. So I had to buy this. And sure enough, it's on here, track 22. I can't pronounce the word. 5 minute 23 seconds. The rest of the score is not that great, but it's got that song on it. That's a song. If you know the song, it's like you just put that on repeat, just let it play for hours. Smoke up and dim the lights and listen to that song. It's a great song. Anyway, Amok. Next up, Nico Fidenco, Emmanuel and the Last Cannibals. I wanted to get all these. There's like a whole series of these. Emmanuel says it's serial numbered inside. Let's take a look. Yes, it is. There's cannibals. It's got like a little sticker thing on it, number 775. So yeah, that's cool. Looks like there's something in here too. Oh, it's stuck. Looks like a poster. There it is. No, it's not really a poster. Here's all the others all the other Emmanuel CDs in the series. I wanted to get all those, but you know, money, right? Next up on Kronos Records, Images in a Convent, Nico Fidenco. I believe this was a Gianfranco movie, nunsploitation. Next up, another Nico Fidenco, Zombie Holocaust. Great movie, great score. Next up, another great movie, great score, New York Ripper. I'm sure you all know this one. Great, great stuff. Next up, Stefano Mainetti, Zombie 3. I wouldn't call this a great movie, but it's a really good movie. That's my recollection. And last, but not least, well, maybe, Mordecai. Okay, now let's talk about Mordecai. It's the end of the video. So this one's not too bad. We're at like less than 17 minutes so far. So Mordecai, if you recall, came out and the reviews were terrible, right? Terrible reviews. So I had to see it. Any review that they say is that bad, I got to see it. So I went to the movie theater to see it. I went to a matinee, cheap ticket, you know. I go in, I sit down. There's a woman off to my left, several rows up, talking really loudly. And I assumed she was on a cell phone, had a Bluetooth earpiece or something in and was talking really loud, obnoxiously, to somebody. At some point, I figured out that she was talking to herself, right? So the lights go out, the movie starts. She's talking to the movie, like talking to the characters. Don't do that. Don't go in there, that kind of stuff. And it was really an unfunny movie. Like you knew the parts that were supposed to be funny, but they weren't funny. Well, to this woman, they were hilarious. So she's literally the only person laughing out loud in the theater. It's like the version of Mordecai I saw had its own laugh track built in because this woman was laughing hysterically at all the parts that were supposed to be funny. And I don't know. That's my Mordecai story. I enjoyed seeing Mordecai. Probably wouldn't enjoy watching it again, but I had a great experience seeing Mordecai at this poor mentally disturbed woman's expense, I guess. But that's my Mordecai story. Uh, that's that. This is going to be a short video. Anyway, that's my complete, you know, CD collection. You've seen it all now. Now, I am actively buying stuff again. I've got a batch of CDs, and I'll just go ahead and tell you since it's going to be coming up soon. I was on eBay and I bought a blind grab bag of 30 different CDs. 30 different metal CDs. Didn't know what they were. They were cheap. They were $1 a piece. So I'm doing a video on it because surprisingly enough, a huge number of them are really good. I was shocked, So I just took a chance, thought it'd be fun, and it turned out it really was fun. So I'm going to do a video about it. So that's coming up. Next video will be a vinyl update because I promised a vinyl update. Got something in the mail today that I was really excited to get. Didn't quite live up to you know, what I expected, I guess. But I'm gonna show it. Got some other stuff. I don't know how many. I've been doing 9, it seems like. But anyway, I guess that's it. I mean, I'd like to go on rambling. Don't forget, I'm gonna stick Fabio Frizzi footage at the end. I think it's I don't remember exactly. I think it's 52 seconds. I don't know why I just did 52 seconds, and that's all I shot of Fabio Frizzi when I saw him. You know, this was the video you're gonna watch was I bought the VIP ticket, so I got to go in the theater during sound checks. So that's what this video was from like the sound check. That's why there's like nobody in there, you know. So anyway, I guess I'll just wrap it up. Uh I don't know. I could just keep talking, but funny thing is, I've been watching my stats, and by this point of the video, 75% of people have stopped watching already. You know, it's like 25% of you make it all the way to the end. So maybe I'll start doing cool stuff at the end. You know, start doing giveaways or something if you stick around to the end. I don't know. I'm just talking now. I'll probably cut all this out. Anyway, thanks for watching. Uh, Next video will be back to metal. So look forward to that. See you next time.